it does suck to be a guy. It is really shitty sometimes. And there is nothing worse in the world than getting rejected. It feels like shit. I can tell you, I have been rejected so many times by people that I thought I was in love with, and it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. And the shitty reality is that because men are raised in this world where they can't talk to other guys or their friends or even people online about any of this without being accused of being a woman or being gay or showing feelings or emotion, that you're stuck in this rut in which you have to try and process and deal with all of these emotions on your own terms, and that is really hard, and it makes it worse. And as your sense of self-worth is lowered and you feel worthless, you get trapped in this way that you don't know how to get out of it unless you find an answer in the worst corners of the internet, because no one else is willing to help you, lest they too be called gay or a woman or some other shit like that. So you have to suffer in silence, and suffering in silence as a guy is the hardest and saddest thing that I can imagine or explain to other people about the male experience. Seems this is what people are deeply concerned of. A lot of really serious things happening in the world right now. A lot of problems, a lot of things to worry about, but one of the things that is effectively destroying society is one of the oldest things of all time. Breasts. Breastises. Yes, and the implied nudity that could come from said breastises. If you're unfamiliar with the woman on the screen right now, this is Morgpie. Morgpie is a streamer. And Morgpie is a streamer who has caught a lot of the attention of a lot of angry and insecure men online, because apparently she is standing fully naked, yes, in Twitch streams. And while fully naked in Twitch streams, she's greasing her body up, greasing up her breasts. And then when people subscribe to her, she does motions which indicate that perhaps her breasts are jiggling slightly off camera. You don't see them. She didn't actually violate anything in the Twitch TOS, but it made everyone very, very upset. A lot of people got very, very mad, and a lot of people started saying, look, I'm not against boobs. I'm not against the female form. Okay, I myself have been known to enjoy the female form from time to time, but I think this is deeply inappropriate for children. And I think it is certainly, you know, there's this new meta. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's this new meta going on where women apparently are getting away with tantalizing people, tantalizing mostly men who cannot control themselves, and they're giving up their hard-earned cash, their dollars, to these women, these harlots, these charlatans, these whores, said Shoe on Head, in order to see them jiggle their breasts. And the reason they're doing it, and this is the accusation, is because they know that other markets are saturated. That really sucks, is that obviously if you are sitting there like every other streamer and you're trying to have a stream and be successful, if people are suddenly accusing you of only being successful because you have tits, that's it. Like, yes, the only reason that any of those women were ever able to have any kind of success was because they have giant boobies, and that's why people watch them. I'm pretty sure that like the expiry date on people being able to suddenly just stare at cleavage for 2 hours, like it doesn't go on forever. Like you wouldn't have repeat viewers or people interested in what you have to say or the content you produce or anything if the only reason that they're there is just to be like. And I also, you know, as someone who's used the internet before, I am aware there are other places to see cleavage. There's other places to see full frontal nudity even, you know? It's another website that a lot of people seem to hate a lot, which is OnlyFans, which is like, oh yeah, we hate OnlyFans. It seems like the bar keeps changing. It's like, oh, okay, well, fine. I guess it is kind of sexist to simply accuse women of having no talent because they have cleavage and they show off their cleavage on the streams. Maybe that one's a little too far, but we can definitely go after the hot tub streams. What are the hot tub streams, you say? Well, the hot tub streams are basically people have found out this loophole that you're allowed to wear a bikini on Twitch streams if you're at the beach or in a pool or in a hot tub. And because people want to be able to have bikinis in their streams, they suddenly decided that if they put a kiddie pool in the background, that counts as a hot tub or a pool, and now it's justifiable for them to have a bikini on stream. There's never a discussion about the fact that if you are a man or male presenting, you're allowed to show completely your entire bare chest. You can show the nipples if you have man boobies or moobies, or you have a giant glistening pectoral chest that you've worked really hard on, or whatever the case may be. That's all totally fine. That's completely acceptable. You're allowed to do that. No one gets mad at this. Everyone is completely just like, oh, well, yeah, that's just a dude being a dude. He's just standing there. Well, then why is it that if he's just a dude being a dude, and it's totally fine for him to be topless, shirtless, if you will, that's not inherently trying to sexualize any single person who watches him? Now, there was for a while a handful of guys who were like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. Fuck it. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to do it hilariously. This is ironic, okay? So yeah, I'm going to have a hot tub stream. Here we go. I'm topless in my little kiddie pool in the background. I'll write your name anywhere you want, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And that was just funny. Like, I saw people like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. That's funny. Look at the guys doing it now. It's kind of funny, too. I've heard people sometimes try to compare, who's the renowned, beautiful streamer on Twitch? Hassan, right? I've seen some people say, well, yeah, Hassan is also very attractive, and he also has a lot of topless photos available on Instagram and other places on the internet, but he doesn't get the same kind of just, degradation or the same kind of like, well, no one ever listens to him, or everyone hates him just because all he does is just stand there topless, or he's just really hot, or he's just standing there beautiful. They usually hate him because of the things he says, the content of his character, right? It's like, oh, well, Hassan said America deserved 9/11. That's why he's the worst person ever. Oh, Hassan said that Putin wasn't going to invade Ukraine. That's why he's the worst person ever. Oh, Hassan said this. Oh, Hassan said that. Oh, look at this clip of Hassan saying this. Oh, here's Hassan, right? But it's never like, well, it's because Hassan's pretty, and that's the only reason why people watch him. But this seems to happen time and time again to women. And this latest version of this is basically, we have women streamers who are not, as it turns out, topless or naked. It turns out they're simply standing there. In this case, you're going to see a huge reveal. I don't want to give a spoiler warning, but we will show you what lies beneath, everybody. We're going to show you exactly what the camera did not allow you to see. We're going behind the lens here, and show you a little bit of Morgpie's interview. But once again, a lot of this is being propagated by the same people who will point towards, well, this is bad for kids. This is bad for kids on Twitch, because kids can see this. Did you not know that on Twitch kids can see things? They might just be going through maybe some video game channels, maybe some Roblox, some Minecraft, and some Let's Plays and some stuff like that, and then this could pop up. This could pop up, and then they could see this, and this could destroy everything about them. And the same people who are furious at women right now for, again, showing a partial amount of their bodies, not even nudity, not breasts, there's nothing here, but just that alone, those same people have multiple streams where they're engaged in vilifying LGBTQ plus people, where they drop the R slur every other fucking word, where they consistently say the worst things about marginalized communities, where they justify atrocities. All of that is completely fine. None of that is like, well, that's a danger though to kids. And a lot of the people also who freak out about this, who make videos about, women and nudity, have you seen the quarterings thumbnails? Every other fucking thumbnail is like a woman's cleavage. Every other fucking, he played the actual video clip in his video of this woman, and yet he did not have a content filter on his channel. There's no content filter on the YouTube videos. There's no content filter on anything that he does, because he knows, like most people, once you start putting content filters, you don't get as many views. Not as many people can see you. Oh no, there's an age restriction, blocking it. I happen to have an age restriction on my Twitch streams, so yes, there's a thing that pops up that says this is content for adults, and yes, that will prevent less people from seeing the stream, but is it intended for 18 plus stream? We're going to talk about 18 plus things, and we're also going to talk about, the very saga itself. Twitch has been inundated with a variety of different metas over the years, from hot tub streams to body painting and more. It's not unusual to see creators hop on certain trends that appear to skirt the site's guidelines on nudity and sexual content, while Twitch attempted to remedy the issue with hot tub streams by creating new entirely categories for such broadcasts. Another meta has emerged on the website that's sparking outrage across the platform. On December 8th, Twitch streamer Morgpie went viral for seemingly streaming while topless, with her camera frame cutting off just above her décollage. 3 days later, Morgpie was finally banned. We spoke with the streamer about her viral broadcast, the ethics of the new topless meta, and why she thinks Twitch is to blame for the entire ordeal. Morgpie reveals she's actually been fully clothed in topless streams. To start, Morgpie has made sure to credit fellow streamer Asian Bunny for apparently starting the topless meta, saying that she had seen her broadcast and followed suit. It's worth noting that Asian Bunny was also banned from Twitch recently. She was getting crazy views with this, so I decided to try it myself, and I got the most views I've ever gotten doing it, Morgpie told us. So I think the numbers kind of talk on Twitch, and whatever gets the most views, that's within TOS. Morgpie assured us that she does in fact read the site's terms of service to make sure her content is strictly within Twitch guidelines, arguing that there's nothing for her to broadcast that is specifically violating them. I do read the TOS anytime I try to incorporate anything new into my streams just to make sure I don't want to get banned. I did get banned, but I think Twitch right now is definitely banning a lot of girls because of this new meta. They kind of want to put a lid on it right now. And a lot of that has to do with, again, massive outrage, huge amounts of outrage that is being done. You know, you're seeing so many other streamers and content producers, and again, the majority of the men, talking about this as if there's some kind of super unfair double standard, or that Twitch is completely degenerate and they're allowing all kinds of like fucked up content. When you see people like that, when a FaZe Clan member is on there talking about how like, you know, like, bro, can you fucking believe it, bro? Bro, holy fuck, look, hey, her tits are jiggling. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is okay? This is okay? These are the same motherfuckers who are dropping fucking transphobic bullshit and bile all the fucking time. Like one of the FaZe Clan members was the dude who's like, yeah, leave the kids alone. Then everyone was like, that's a weird thing to say when there were parents trying to stand up against the far right and the alt-right who are basically saying that they don't want LGBTQ kids to exist. Like, you should be saying that towards the far right fascists who are saying that kind of shit right now. That's really fucked up. Look, I don't hate anyone, okay? I just think that, like, you know, there's a time and a place for this shit, and like they shouldn't be learning about this kind of stuff in schools. And it's like, no one, I want to be clear on this, no one is teaching kids to be gay in school, because you can't do that. There's no such thing as gay course, gay 101 or queer 205. There's no such thing as that. You can't sit kids down and be like, hey, do any of you want to be gay? Yeah, here's how you do it. That's not a thing. It's that gay kids exist, queer kids exist, and they're going to go to school like every other person, and that is totally, and I would say morally necessary to make them feel as safe as everyone else. That's the whole situation. You can spin it every way you want, but that's the situation. But still, those are the same people who are just beside themselves at the very concept that a woman may be on camera partially naked. That's obviously just disgusting. Nobody's breaking TOS, so let's listen.
You know, my ban, one of the reasons they listed was a lap dance. I'm the only one here, so I'm not really sure how I could have given anybody a lap dance. But that was one of the reasons they listed in the ban that I received. So I think, honestly, they are just cracking down on this new meta. And their toss is very open-ended. So they're not giving anyone, you know, nobody's breaking toss. Nobody is breaking the terms of service. Me standing here like this, it's just shoulders. And by the way, I am wearing a shirt. I do wear a shirt and pants.
Bro, shirt and pants, bro. Holy fuck. What is Twitch doing? This is fucked.
In all of the streams.
Wow, the great reveal. Everyone, look, this is what needed to be banned off Twitch because it's degenerate and destroying society. We did it. Twitch is a day safer. Go back to saying all your slurs. Go back to vilifying LGBTQ plus people. Go back to fucking making people who are members of marginalized communities feel unsafe on the platform, because every time they start the streams, it fills with hate speech, and other people can take any clip they say, take it out of contents, and do full hate fucking segments on them. That's all totally cool. Everything's totally fine. But this is too far. This is the mass sexualization of children. It truly is.
So it's just the implied nudity that really freaks people out.
Claims the site needs to be far more specific in its terms of service if they want to avoid content like terrorists being streamed on the platform. Now, here's a super quick fix for all of this that we could basically state, okay? Because this is a rule that the people who hate this are not abiding by. Shoe1Head had for a very long time a YouTube video in which she rates the fuckability of multiple Pokemon characters. That video was not age restricted, and you could make an argument that the thumbnail, and then someone who might click on the video, could be someone who is under the age of 18, someone who's interested in Pokemon, and suddenly, because she's a very popular channel, that channel is going to pop up in the top of the thing. Now, does Shoe1Head have a right to make videos and content about which Pokemon that she wants to fuck? Absolutely she does, 100%. But would it be super weird if people suddenly took that video of her ranking the fuckability of different Pokemon characters and suddenly say that she's doing this intentionally to try and seduce kids to try and allure children to watch your channel, to try and get them sexualized and all this kind of stuff, when most likely, and I'm going to just state this in honestly in the most good faith way possible, I don't think that's the point of that content. I think the point of that content is comedy. She's doing that to be funny. It's going to be a funny segment. People are going to watch it. They're going to laugh. But if you look at the thumbnail, you could make the exact same implications that, hey, isn't this trying to tempt kids into looking at this kind of content? And if you're upset that people showing cleavage could potentially be seen by children, first, never take them to a beach. Make sure you avoid all and any beaches that kids could ever go to, because if they go to that, they may see not only women's breasts behind a bikini, but they might also see hundreds, if not thousands, of topless men. Yes, topless men. Some of them with very hard bodies, some of them greased up, and who knows, that could be done to sexualize kids or something of that nature. So make sure you avoid any and all beaches forever, because apparently that just in and of itself is just, hyper-sexualized content. But if content specifically, such as, farting ASMR streams or stuff like that, which has no place in being served to kids, is being put on the Twitch platform, well then yeah, use that kind of stuff with an adult filter. Very, very simple. Say, hey, by the way, if you want to have an 18+ stream, because there are adults who use Twitch, there you go. An end of story. It's not going to stop the weirdos, though. It's not going to stop weirdos from freaking out about this all the time, because apparently the problem here is less about, could this be exposed to children, and more just like, it's just not fair. It's not fair. Why do women get to do this? You get to do it too, my dudes. You have more power to do it than the women do on this platform. If you're a male or male presenting, you have the power to go completely topless. You're not going to get banned for that. So you could do the exact same thing. You could have a topless stream showing way more skin. You can show it from the stomach up where you're just walking. You can apply grease to your body, and then you can see how many of the subs roll in. That's totally up to you. I understand, because I'm not someone who does that. Maybe it's going to be awkward at first, or maybe it's not something you want to do, but you have the power to do it before you go after the very people who are already doing that as some kind of whores, charlatans. How dare they? How they're fucking disgusting. Look at her. She's completely naked. And it's like, she actually wasn't. The reveal has been done. She was not naked. She's wearing a crop top. And so she was wearing a crop top, and the illusion of the crop top, which has been successfully, I guess, played upon all of you now, was enough to make you all think, well, she's definitely naked. She's naked, and look at that. Her tits are jiggling. Oh, disgusting. Disgusting, I say. Age demographic of Twitch users: 18 to 24, 35%. 25 to 34, 32%. 35 to 44, 15%. 45 to 54, 8.62%. 55 to 64, 4.97%. These are the demographics of Twitch. The majority are not under 18. Take a look at the data detailing Twitch's age demographics in 2020. 18 to 24-year-olds, this group had the biggest share of Twitch overall user base in 2020, accounting for 41% of the platform's total population during this year. 25 to 34, this made up 32% of total Twitch's total user base in 2020. 35 to 44, this age accounts for 17%. 35 to 54, this age accounts for 7%. 55 to 64, this accounts for 3%. And another thing to add, it is increasingly ridiculous to state that it is a bunch of 13-year-olds who are paying for all of these streams. With what? Are they stealing their their dad's credit card to subscribe to the booby streamers? Or are they just begging their parents, please, mom, let me use your credit card, please? What for? Oh, don't worry, it's just to subscribe to the streamer. I'm pretty sure there's is there cases of that happening? Of course there could be. Absolutely. Again, there's millions of people on this platform. A couple people could steal credit cards, or a couple people could lie to their parents about what they're using their credit cards for, and hopefully the parents never checked that it was actually to subscribe, because it will say, $5 subscribe to, this specific streamer, Morgpie, and hopefully they just never check that out or look into it or look up who that person is. But to be completely honest with you, this seems to be a phenomenon that once again is being blown out of proportion to state that a lot of children are being exposed to women who, again, are fully clothed. She's fully clothed in this. Now, everyone wants to keep kids safe, but I feel a lot more like this has to do with really just hyper fucking misogyny and insecurity simultaneously.
People are going to find loopholes regardless, because they do allow sexual content and sexual themes on the site.
She also addressed the backlash both herself and countless in content that topless meta on social media, noted a large part of the argument against such streamers revolves around protecting kids on Twitch. I just wanted to say my streams are always labeled 18+. Wow. That's also a fucking... Did no one look this up? Did no one check this out? Did no one look into this? Did, like... Everyone who's begging for Twitch to do something about this, being like, oh, you have to stop this, it's for the kids, protect the kids, says the quartering. Meanwhile, again, the quartering, half of your thumbnails have fucking cleavage and titties in them, the same likes of which you would see on the stream. There's no age filters. There's no content moderation. There's no 18 plus shit on there. Seems like just monstrous hypocrisy. You know, I'm taking every step I possibly can. I love Twitch as a platform. That's the reason I'm there, not somewhere else. Over 70% of Twitch's viewer base is over the age of 18. As we just pointed out. So for the people who are saying Twitch is predominantly underage teenage people, it's just not true. Even Twitch says that over 70% of their platform is used from people 18 to 34, so Twitch is not a place for kids. There is sexual content and inappropriate content rampant on the platform, aside from what women are doing on there, and I think people just need to be more consistent about that. Ultimately, Morgpie believes that it is the parents' responsibility to monitor their kids' online activity. Kids and teens will find ways to get 18 plus content, so either Twitch needs to ban all mature content or make it more apparent that Twitch is for adults. And yes, if people are doing adult content on Twitch, put a content filter. Put your 18 plus content filter on your content. That's simple. Yes. And there you have it. They're doing it. You heard the quartering say this, saying that like OnlyFans is saturated. That's why they do this, because they know they can't make any money on OnlyFans. And so they're just doing it to try and apply to kids who otherwise would be able to see their stuff. But now they can just do and show their pornography on Twitch, which, as we've just revealed, it was not pornography. In fact, she was fully clothed, but that doesn't seem to matter. But take it from Amaranth, who has said this. People who are saying that all of our money comes from exploiting the Twitch TOS. Hot tubs aren't the reason I'm wealthy, nor is poking holes in TOS. I was making $500 to $6,000 a month on OnlyFans before hot tubs were a thing, and probably in aggregate $750,000 a month, including other sources by 2020, saving the majority of a windfall, investing it, and grinding. If you've got this mind focus that is, hey, by the way, every single time you see a hot woman, just know that these are all bitches and they're all trying to manipulate you. And like all of them just want money and power and control, and society is upside down and they have all the power and control and they always win in courtrooms and they don't have to fight in the wars and all this stuff, and they get free drinks and clubs and stuff like that. And you just feel like a loser, don't you? Don't you just feel like a coomer, a loser who's just stuck at home in a basement masturbating to all of their photos all the time and paying money for their OnlyFans like a sad-ass coomer that you are? Don't live like that anymore, bro. We got the answers. We're going to teach you how to make tons and tons of money through cryptocurrency, and then afterwards we're going to teach you how to get any woman you want simply by disrespecting all women as a totality, and it's totally going to work, bro. Definitely not a multi-level marketing scheme, but it is going to appeal to a lot of people. And when all that shit comes out, right, like it's obviously deeply sad, it's deeply troubling, but it also, I think sometimes the left ignores the other side of the conversation, which is that it does suck to be a guy. It is really shitty sometimes. And there is nothing worse in the world than getting rejected. It feels like fucking shit. I can tell you, I have been rejected so many times by people that I thought I was in love with, and it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. And the shittier reality is that because men are raised in this world where they can't talk to other guys or their friends or even people online about any of this without being accused of being a woman or being gay or showing feelings or emotion, that you're stuck in this fucking rut in which you have to try and process and deal with all of these emotions on your own terms. And that is really fucking hard, and it makes it worse. And as your sense of self-worth is lowered and you feel worthless, you get trapped in this way that you don't know how to get out of it unless you find an answer in the worst corners of the internet, because no one else is willing to help you, lest they too be called gay or a woman or some other shit like that. So you have to suffer in silence, and suffering in silence as a guy is the hardest and saddest thing that I can imagine or explain to other people about the male experience, about what it is to grow up as a fucking, cis male or any of that kind of shit. It really fucking sucks that in a lot of ways you don't have any kind of tool set or support group or resources to talk about any of this, and you feel alone and rejected and worthless. And when you feel alone and rejected and worthless, and the other side of the aisle might be saying things like, feminism, here's why things are bad, here's why this is bad, here's why these things are bad, you might reject all of those kind of things because at the time you're like, I already feel like complete shit, I feel worthless, and now you're telling me that I'm inherently bad or something because I'm a man, when that's not what they're saying, but that's how it's coming across to you, and you feel like utterly helpless in this situation. And then where do you go? The internet. You start looking for answers. You start finding things in some of the biggest channels and accounts that have dominated the sphere for so long are going to be giving you the worst possible advice, stuff that is going to reinforce and play to a lot of the things that you already have programmed in you, a lot of the same shit that society has been pushing on you your entire lives, such as, hey, to be a man, you have to be a protector, you have to be strong, you have to be a defender, you have to be an earner, you have to be like fucking hard, solid, a warrior, because that is what the true alphas do, and that's how they like overcome all the betas of the world, and that's how you end up winning and breaking free from the matrix. All that kind of stuff is already hard-coded in you, because that is what a patriarchal society is constantly telling all of us since the moment that we're kids, and then it's going to be reinforced by the gendered stereotypes of our parents, and by the time you get to high school, if you were a loser or are a loser like I was, then all this stuff starts to play all at once, and then that stuff is a lot easier to suddenly listen to and pick up, because it's like, oh, well, that's the kind of stuff that I've been thinking my entire life, or I've been told was right, but other people lied to me. They lied to me that apparently everyone has a shot, or everyone has a chance, or everyone could be an individual, or if you just believe in yourself that you can do anything. That's not true. I believed in myself. I fall in love with this girl and she thinks I'm a loser and doesn't want to hang out with me. And as they go down that rabbit hole, as they learn all of that kind of shit, as they get in that fucking world or space, it's going to turn them into the worst fucking people in the world. It's going to make them think a lie that there is some kind of conspiracy, or that there is something going on where women are controlling everything, where women are actually trying to manipulate you, where women are all evil, they're all bitches, they're all fucking, they all control you with their incredible hot bodies that you just can't resist. And that's why we have to hate them, and hate them when they manipulate us, hate them when they show us their bodies and we're not allowed to have them, because they show us these incredible fucking titties and cleavage and all this kind of stuff, but I'm not allowed to have it. That makes me fucking mad. I'm fucking really desiring her, but she doesn't desire me. That makes me more angry and more furious and more fucking angry. And I'm being told all this shit by these assholes who keep telling me this is the way you're supposed to be. Have you been investing? Have you been spending thousands of dollars on my course? Are you investing in the cryptocurrency? Are you making mad cash? No, I'm not. I'm losing tons of money because it's really hard to make money this way. And everyone thinks I'm an incel or I'm some fucking freak or something. And then when I talk this way, the only other people who will listen to me are other people who are already indoctrinated into this shitty ass corner of the world. And then we get all kinds of fucked up shit happening. And there's an intersect between the violence that is being done, that is misogynistic violence, and the same violence that is being done by other groups. Because here's a little extra piece. Here's where I think the left is falling short on these kind of conversations and meeting men. And trying to guide young boys and make them become better men and deprogram a lot of this bullshit, okay? Is that there should be an acknowledgement, and there absolutely should, that men are suffering and men are having a hard time, and a lot of things are making life increasingly shittier for men. And that is just the truth. And to ignore that, or to try to say that it's simply someone saying red pill shit or men's rights shit, that is ignoring a very, very big cry for help that is happening. Because life is getting shittier for everyone. For women too, for non-binary people, and for men, for everybody, life is getting harder, life is getting more difficult, and there is a lot of ignoring of, hey, should we appeal to people who are definitely saying, hey, life sucks for dudes? And the answer is yes, it does. And a lot of this is in part due to the reinforcement of a lot of these bad negative stereotypes that makes it almost nearly impossible to live up to the expectations of what you're supposed to be as a man. When you hear people say that, like, there's a fucking, we're seeing the downfall of masculinity, the end of masculinity, we got all these femboys now, the fucking they them armies, blah blah blah, cat boys, all this kind of shit, you know, all these F slurs, don't know what the fuck being a man is all about, blah blah blah. Well, maybe the expectations of what is a man is actually destroying men and turning them into monsters. And a lot of reinforcement of what a man is supposed to be is actually really shitty and unhealthy for men. We can point that out. That's not a problem. Also, the whole industry that is built upon teaching people about love, romance, you know them, rom-coms, you love them, right? The Notebook, there's a good example. It's a really lovely story about a guy who really wants to get a girl. It's the girl of his dreams. He really wants to date her. So he threatens to kill himself unless she goes on a date with him. And I know it's just done in jest and fun, and it's Ryan Gosling, and he's so dreamy, and you just kind of get lost in his eyes and everything like that. So it's not actually that silly. And then it's really beautiful by the end. They're kissing in the rain and shit. So true love. But that's not good. It's not good to keep reinforcing this shit. It's not good that every fucking Disney love or romance is constantly about there is a one true love for you, one true love only, and if you do or do not find them, you will or will not have found true happiness. That really kind of gives everyone the idea that, holy shit, so I've fallen in love many times in my life. You know, I'm much older, but I've fallen many times in my life, including when I was very young. When I was very young, I was like in love with so many girls. I had the biggest crushes. I was like, you know, totally head over heels. What do I have to do? What's the trick, Disney? Well, what do you do here? Do I write her poetry? Do I send her letters? Do I buy her or pick her flowers? Well, what is the secret Konami code to unlock love? And the absolute like fucking devastating reality of that is that no one has an obligation to like or love you. No one does. And the truth is, people are not going to like or love you. That's also just the reality. And guess what? You know why this isn't a bad thing? Why this shocking reality that actually is the complete opposite of what all these rom-coms say is true or what you should do? Is because you don't like everyone or love everyone. Even you, someone listening to this right now for the first time, there could be people in your life who you fucking hate. There could be people in your life who you can't stand. There could be people in your life who you don't want to have to be around. And that's valid and fine. And that goes both ways. So the truth is, there is not a 100% hard-coded, destined love of your life that you have to do everything in your power to try and make them fall in love with you. But there is a lot of cool people that you're going to have a lot of fun with. And there's a lot of awesome people who are going to love you. And there's a lot better people, most likely, who you will find down the road, or you will find eventually, or you probably already have in your life and don't know about it, who could be way better than that same person that you fixated on for so long. Because you create a narrative, you create a fantasy in your head, you create this alternate world where they are the perfect human being. And then once you end up dating, if you ever do get that chance where you're like, oh, I ended up getting with the girl of my dreams, a lot of times you find out, I fucking hate her. Honestly, I like, yeah, she's really hot. I guess that was the thing that I was really focused on more than anything else. But as soon as we start having conversations post anything, we have nothing in common. What am I doing here? I thought this was the woman of my dreams. I like everything. I thought I had won the lottery. I had finally done it. I had finally, for the first time in my life, hooked up with what I thought was like my perfect love of my life. And then boom, surprise, surprise, they are a horrible person, or they're abusive, or they're really mean, or they're not interesting, or they're boring as fuck. And the same thing goes both ways, right? Like the same thing applies to women who are trying to find men or falling in love with men, or they really want to get with this one guy, or they feel like they've been friend zoned for so long, but if they just wait long and long enough, maybe this guy who's actually just, you know, really rugged and handsome, and he's going to turn out, yeah, he's a bad boy, but I can fix him kind of shit. Turns out, no, he's just an asshole. He just is and always will be. He's just a selfish piece of shit abuser, and that's all he is. And there is no fixing him. There's no changing him into one of the good ones. He just needs the right woman for that kind of shit. Nah, he needs therapy. He needs therapy, lots of it in generous amounts. And so we should have public systems or something like that. But anyways, that is what is the truth, and that's what should be reinforced. We should be empathetic, sympathetic. We should admit and accept the fact that yes, men and young teenage boys are suffering and having a hard time, and we should also let them know that it's perfectly fine and awesome for them to be able to express that or talk about it and feel safe doing that, and they should be able to do that with their friends without worrying about becoming the worst thing in the world, gay, because surprise, it's actually not the worst thing in the world. It's fucking awesome. Get some gay friends. Gay people are amazing. You'll go to the best parties in the world, and you'll probably meet a lot of amazing women along the line. Who knows? All this stuff is possible once you stop having hate in your heart consistently and trying to just get ahead by pushing other people down.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Can you please hit the like and subscribe button and maybe leave a comment? It really does help the videos out. But first, the people who produce everything you see before you and make this entire channel possible: Amazing Fletch, Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Puppy, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby K, Cernicus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Demel, Trevbot.exe, Words Greenwood, and Travis McClinton. And also, thank you to every other person who helps fund this show. Their names are on the screen right now. It would not be possible without every single one of them. We cannot thank you enough. And if you want to join the Patreon, please come to patreon.com/theserfs and help us exist.